Almost didn't make that first jump.
Stuck on something that I really, yeah, that's more important than the rest of my accessory work.
Okay.
First, I'm going to pee again and maybe more. Let's find out.
I'm here for it. Well, I'll be here.
I was here later. Here.
I'll be here for it. Oh, legs feel tired today. This is going to be an interesting workout. We got heavy squats coming up. We'll see how it goes. You're so good. First set of box jumps, I almost didn't make it onto the box. Good morning, Map. Good day, Map. How are you today? Welcome in. We're doing a little warm-up get ready. We got squats today. It's our main exercise. So we're getting the body loosened up, ready to go. Body feels pretty tired today. We did heavy deadlifts on Monday. Went for a nice run yesterday. Body feels good, it's just tired. So the warm-up is gonna wake it up. Not trained since last week. I got leg day Friday. Ooh, it's coming up in a couple days. That'll be a good workout. Means you should be nice and rested. Sometimes it's good to take that extra time off. We just got off a deload week last week, so we're getting right back into the heavy weights this week. I got some heavy squats coming up here shortly. We'll see how it goes. Imagine how someone does not like working out. Well, it's hard. Weights are heavy. If you don't, I think there's a big mental barrier to get over if it's something that you're not very good at, unless, if you don't see tangible results like very quickly, it can be very demotivating. And if it's something that's already hard and you don't normally do it, it's hard to get into. I think a lot of people get into like almost like the fight or flight mentality where they, it's heavy, they don't really know what they're doing, they're not seeing tangible results immediately. It's intimidating, like there's just a lot going on. You're not familiar with the area, you're not familiar with the gym, you're not familiar with the workout equipment, not familiar with all the programming and everything. I think a big part of it is knowledge and buying into the process that it is a long-term thing. Willpower does have a big role in it. You can't just rely on willpower, you have to rely on the discipline and build that habit. I was talking with one of my clients yesterday, or I was on a call yesterday with a guy, where he talks about like, if you can push through that obstacle the first couple of weeks and just keep showing up, especially when you hit that first wall, where it's like, I could go, but it's like, it's raining outside, or I stubbed my toe, or whatever little inconvenience we bring up as an excuse. If you can push through that once, especially push through 1 or 2 times, you can build that habit and build that discipline, and it becomes easier to show up. You just gotta break through that wall. Life's gonna continue to drop obstacles in your way. It's up to you whether or not you're gonna let them build a wall in front of you, or you're gonna pound those obstacles into the road that leads you to success. I dive back into our warm up here, get the body loosened up. Like I said, legs are feeling pretty heavy. We did some heavy deadlifts on Monday, went for a run yesterday. We got squats today, so we've got to really make sure that our legs are feeling good before we load up and do our squats. So taking our time with our warm up today. Doing this like frog squat variation. I do it on my running days. It's really good for just kind of opening up the calves, the hamstrings, the quads, the hips, the entire body complex. Essentially just getting into your squat position. Bend over to grab your toes, and just dip down and sit down as low as you can. Open up your chest to the front, and right back and forth. Good stretch to the hamstrings as you stand back up. You leaving?
Yes.
Goodbye, my lovely wife.
I love you.
I love you too. See you in a bit. Bye.
Bye.
I think another piece of the puzzle beyond the willpower aspect is you got to find what you like. You know, what I'm doing in the gym, what my programming is, what my goals are, you know, it's going to be different from what your goals are. You know, you had done CrossFit for a little while. I hate CrossFit. If I were to go to a CrossFit class, I'd be fine once, but then I'd immediately say, screw that, and not ever go again. So I think a big part of it is finding what works for you. You hate it now too? I remember you came in one time and you're like, I do CrossFit now. I was like, all right, that's cool. Yeah, it really is. I mean, people get into their comfort zone, and it's so easy to allow yourself, you know, if you let yourself off the hook once, it's so easy to just let it go. Especially the more you let that be, you know, the more you allow that to be your habit, your discipline, and how you kind of approach things. Where if you hit a roadblock, you immediately say, fuck it, I'm out. Excuse my language. But yeah, you got to find what you like. And I think one of the problems is people will try, they know, we all know we need to eat healthy, we need to lift weights, we need to work out. They go to the gym, they see these big lunkheads like me lifting heavy weights, dropping weights, chalk everywhere, making all these noises. It's intimidating. They try it once and they're like, okay, this is fine. And then the soreness kicks in and they're like, why would I do this to myself? Everything hurts and I'm dying. I'd rather just sit on the couch, play video games, watch TV, eat junk food. And they don't realize that's just snowballing in the wrong direction. And the longer you let that go, the harder it is to get yourself going in the right direction. And I think another part of it is we think of, you know, take somebody who is, we'll say 30 years old and they are overweight and they're like, okay, I'm ready to go and get my life in order. I'm gonna get healthy, I'm gonna go to the gym. But they've never gone to the gym before, or they've gone sporadically, not really done anything. Their diet and nutrition is terrible. They are, you know, sedentary lifestyle, sedentary job, not very active. They think that their first day in the gym is day one, when really it's day negative 100, right? Our health is on a sliding scale constantly. If you're not working to progress it forward, it is moving backwards. So we get this idea in our head that, okay, today, day one, January 1st, new year, new me. I'm going to the gym, I'm gonna get healthy. You don't realize the years of neglect that you haven't been doing anything, you haven't been paying attention to yourself, you haven't been working on yourself, has set you behind the break-even point, right? So now it is gonna be harder. It is tough, the workouts are awful, you're gonna be sore, you're not gonna like the food, but every time that you show up and keep moving, you're climbing yourself out of that hole, digging back, and eventually you hit that break even, and eventually you skyrocket out, right? But it's so hard to get from that starting point to that even break even. We need to kill that mindset that our starting point is break even. We need to remember and realize, you know, we're at a point where we're pretty far back and we need to get going in the right direction. But that's why we're here, for knowledge, for inspiration, for motivation, to showcase that the gym is for everybody. No matter what your goals are, we are here to help. Find what is best and works for you, so that way you can work towards your goals on your timeline that makes sense to you and your lifestyle and make you want to show up and have a good time and live your best life. What's up, Ario? Welcome in. Welcome back. I think even bigger than willpower, I think the two biggest factors keeping people from showing up in the gym and finding love for it is finding the right program and direction that works for them and makes sense to them and is something that they want to do, and knowledge. We know we need to exercise, but we don't know what exercise. We don't know why to exercise. We don't know what is the reason for doing this exercise. How is this exercise getting me towards my goals? That knowledge aspect can be a big barrier. And once you kind of break through that and start to see and understand and buy into the process, buy in that future state is being worked on, even if you don't know what it looks like, just believing that you're working towards it, makes it way easier to show up when you don't want to. also, yeah, I don't understand why people don't like working out. Waking up from a nap. How long was your nap? Real quick, welcome in everybody. Just want to say hi. Say thank you for stopping by. If this is your first time here, welcome in. If you're returning, like a few of our chatters here, thank you guys for stopping back again. Appreciate it. Hope you're having a lovely day. It's Wednesday here. It's about 11 a.m. Wherever you are, I hope your week is going well. You're crushing your goals. You're living your best life. We're having a good time. Moving your body, getting stronger, getting healthier. Got one more round for our warm-up. Again, we're doing squats today. Thank you for the follow. John's on. What's up? Appreciate that. Got one more round on our warm-up. Again, today we are doing squats. I'm really hitting my warm-up harder than I usually do today. My body is tired. We're getting into the last phase of this training program, which is a 12-week long phase. Catching up a bit, Matt. Appreciate you stopping by. We're at the tail end of this 12-week phase. We're getting towards our max numbers on our lifts, our squats, our bench, our deadlift. So Monday we did deadlifting. Body's still tired from that in a good way. Yesterday we went for a run. It was a beautiful day, so feeling good. So now we got squats today. Body's a little bit tired from the last couple of days, so really taking our time with the warm-up to loosen everything up and get us ready for an awesome squat day. Hard time getting stronger in your squats. Any tips? I could probably give some tips, but I would probably need a little bit more information. How long have you been squatting? I would need to know a little more about your program, about your goals, what you've been doing up to this point. It could just be a plateau. Maybe you need to work on some accessory things. There's a lot of different variables that come into breaking through, getting stronger on the squats. My main focus for helping people get stronger at their squats is their accessory work, making sure that they are doing things like single leg, split squats and lunges, making sure that they are strengthening their back. Having a strong back is going to help with your squats, more so than people think. So lat pull downs, cable rows, face pulls, things like that, making sure you're able to hold that weight on your arms, on your back, so it doesn't compress the legs, it doesn't compress the spine. It's going to help give you a stronger squat, making sure your core is nice and strong. Things like ab wheel rollouts, side planks, keeping that core stability nice and strong. Less dynamic movement and more static strength, because if you're squatting, your abs aren't really moving like they would in a crunch. So you need to build that strength. That's just a handful of things. I could have a whole conversation just about strengthening squats. If you would like to dive in more specifically about that, John, feel free to shoot me a message. I'll reach out after and see if you want to talk more about that, and we can dive more specifically into that outside of here. Because obviously I'd love to help you out any way I can. But it really comes down to just, again, there could be any number of factors. It could just be you're at a plateau. Maybe you've been redlining it, going too hard, too long. Maybe it's just we need to adjust your sets and reps scheme, work on the accessories, all that kind of stuff. A bunch of different variables could come into play for it. feeling nice and warm. Let's see if we can find a good view for our squats today. I think we tried this earlier in the week and it kind of worked out. We'll see if it works out this week. So I usually, let's see, make sure we're fully in view. Oh yeah, that'll work. So usually when I squat, if you've been around a little bit, we're usually on the back side of our squat rack. I don't typically squat inside the rack. It's just easier for the setup and everything. Today we're going heavy though. Today we're doing 5 sets of 2 at about 87% of my 1 rep max. So we're getting close to the top here. We're gonna be doing about 305 pounds, which for me is a lot. Well, bench is 95 kilograms, squat is 110. Yeah, we could probably up that a little bit. But today we're doing some heavy squats. So I'm gonna squat inside the squat rack today. Reason being, as I'm squatting by myself, you know, a lot of times usually my lovely wife is here. She can help spot if I need to. Primarily we don't. We're not doing as heavy a weight today since we are going pretty heavy. I'm gonna take my safety precautions and squat inside the rack. So we have these safety bars here. So that worst case scenario, if I get stuck under the weight and can't stand back up, what's nice is these bars are here, they can catch it, and I can safely get out of it. Safety is the name of the game with our heavy lifting, whether it's squats, bench, deadlift, whatever it is. I'm all about the safety aspect of things, so that's why today we're going to squat inside the rack. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick and then we're gonna dive into our squats. All right, if you've been around before, you know we start off our squats with some pulse squats. The idea with these pulse squats is that we squat all the way down and come up about 75% of the way before dropping back down. It's kind of a continuous movement. The idea here before we get into our main working sets with our heavy weight is to get the blood pumping, get the oxygen and nutrients into our muscles, get them ready for the heavy weights we're gonna dive into. This is really good for your joints. Our joints like our knees and our hips and our ankles do not have great circulation. So an exercise, a movement like this, a pulse squat, where we're continuously moving, is gonna funnel those nutrients and funnel that circulation into those areas to get them nice and ready for when we add heavier weights. Usually do about 50% of what our max is. It shouldn't be too heavy. It's just a good way to get the body ready for that weight. Perfect. If you are ever setting up your own squat rack and doing the safety bars, pretty much how to do it is you want to put the bar on your back, squat down as low as you can, and kind of measure 1 or 2 pegs below that. You want to keep it relatively close to your lowest point, because you don't want to be getting stuck into a position where the weight's too heavy and you can't get out of it. And then you have to try to drop even lower than you normally would for it to catch. You want it to be pretty much like right there. So that way it catches it, you can exit under safely. You know, attend to your ego that's probably a little more injured than your body is, and then reset up for your next set. It's great to do for squats, for bench press by yourself if you don't have a spotter, or overhead press. Not many people will do overhead press 1 rep max, which is probably for the best. You don't need to, but if you ever wanted to, you can always, you know, to shoulder press. So you just set the safety bars just below where you'd be, so you can kind of squat down and catch it. My question for you, John, about helping improve your squats. How many days a week do you hit legs? Because one thing that helped me start to see kind of one of the bigger increases in my squats was hitting legs twice a week. One of the days, like today, where I hit it with heavy weights, where we go, you know, a lot of sets. We're doing 5 sets of just 2. It's not a whole lot of reps, so we're going heavier on our weight. The second day, which I do squats on Wednesday and Friday, the second day is higher volume. That's where we do like 5x5, 5x8, 5x10, something like that, where we work on the endurance, work on the stability, the work capacity, so to speak. And doing that in tandem has really helped increase my strength across all 3 of the main lifts: squats, bench, deadlift. So could be something you could incorporate as well. And with the heavy day, like today, each week I increase it. So like, and I go by percentages right now. If you don't want to go by percentages, you can go with like each week you increase by about 5 pounds, 5 or 10 pounds. And then slowly over time, it's building up into that new PR, pushing past those plateaus. It's just balancing it out. One of the techniques that I'll use with my clients for increasing their strength, regardless of what the main exercise is basically it's kind of a form of pyramid sets. If you're familiar with those, if you're not, a pyramid set or pyramid pyramid technique is basically you figure out how many sets you're gonna do. So it's usually like 4, 5, or 6 sets, and you will decrease the reps as you go. So set 1 is maybe 12 reps, set 2 is 10, set 3 is 8, and then set 4 is 6. 12, 10, 8, 6. The idea is that each set, because you are lowering the weight, or lowering the reps, you increase the weight. So for instance, say we start set 1, 12 reps, 100 pounds. And then set 2, we do 110 pounds. Set 3, 120. Set 4, 130. So now you've built up. Next week, when you go back to your leg day, your 12 would start at 110. You now do, in week 2, your first set of 12, you do what you did the week before for your set of 10. So then week 1 was 100, 110, 20, 30. This week would be 110, 20, 30, 40. And then 20, 30, 40, 50. And then like every 4 or 5 weeks, you shift the repetition range. So you go 12 to 6, and then maybe you go 10 to 4, 8 to 2, and then like a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You know, something like that over the course of 12 or 16 weeks. And again, each week you're adding 5 or 10 pounds total. It doesn't have to be 10. It could be 5, you know, and you're slowly building and increasing. And then the last, you know, the last block, you're doing 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you're pushing towards a 1 rep max or hitting a new 1 rep max. It's a scheme that I've used with a number of clients that have wanted to do strength goals and have broken through a lot of plateaus. So again, I'd be more than happy to talk to you further about that. But it's a great approach for exercises, specifically applying to your compound lifts, your squat, your bench, your deadlift, your overhead press, your rows, the main compound movements that you want to get stronger at. It's less applicable to things like, you know, your curls or your tricep push downs or your single leg exercises. All right. Let's load this son of a gun up. All right. So we got done with our pulse squats. Again, we got done with all of our warm-up sets. Our main movement today is our squats. We're gonna do 5 sets of 2. We're gonna get up to 305 pounds for our 5 sets, but right now I'm gonna take another set here in between. So we had just done those pulse squats with 175 pounds. It's a big jump to go from 175 to 305. So I'm gonna do kind of an intermediate jump here where we're gonna do a set of 2 with 245. Get the body ready. It's a big jump to go from 175 to 305. It's 130 pounds, so we're gonna kind of hit the middle of it. Start with adding 5 kilograms every time. I can do 5 reps with a weight. Start working on that weight and increasing once I can do 5 reps. It's a great approach to it. How long have you been doing that? Because you might have just hit a plateau. You might just, you know, need to make a shift or an adjustment. Oh, just 2 workouts. Oh, you just started. Oh, stick with it then. Come back to me in a couple weeks. And then we'll talk about hitting plateaus and not being able to get stronger. That's a great approach though. It really is just, you just add a couple pounds each week. And really focus on your accessory stuff. Focus on single leg, Bulgarian split squats, lunges, hip thrusts, single leg deadlifts. Don't neglect the back side of things. Your glutes and your hamstrings are going to be just as, need to be strong too. Working on your core, static core exercises versus dynamic. Static being like our planks or our ab rollouts or Pallof presses where you just hold at an angle. Things that are going to challenge the core to hold in a static position are going to be great exercises to help increase your strength overall. It's crazy, like one of the things that I relatively recently learned, so powerlifting and strength lifting like this is only something I'm relatively new to. I've been in the fitness industry, I've been lifting for about 10 years, but strength building is still relatively new to me. You don't realize until you get into it how important like all the accessory stuff is. Like, yeah, I want strong legs, so I'm gonna leg press, I'm gonna squat, I'm gonna deadlift, I'm gonna hip thrust. But then you don't realize how important all the other exercises are. Having a strong back to hold the weight on your back. Having a strong core to be able to not collapse under it when you squat down. Things like that, it all come into play as you get better, as you progress, and as you grow. Bulgarians are crazy good. I enjoy Bulgarian split squats. I don't think they're my favorite exercise, but I know a ton of coaches hate them. They get a lot of hate on fitness Twitter. At least once every 2 weeks, I see a tweet from a coach that what's the worst lower body exercise and why is it Bulgarian split squats? Actually, never doing static core exercises. Well, maybe you should start. That's kind of static core exercises are usually the ones I go to. I rarely do things like crunches or leg raises. I'll do them every now and then. But my go-to are ab wheel rollouts, which you can do on a stability ball. So it's a little bit more of a dynamic, but you're still keeping your core static engaged. I do cable rotations, which gets a rotational movement through the torso. And I'll do weighted planks. Just elbow planks, holding for 30 to 60 seconds. I usually do 1 or 2 core exercises per workout. Usually 1 core exercise per workout is kind of my go-to. Welcome back. All right. Enough jabber-jawing, enough lollygagging. These weights aren't going to lift themselves, although that'd be really, really nice if they could. Cool. Like I said, just wanted to get an intermediate jump before we get into our heavy weight. I don't normally like to clip my weights on, but because we are lifting in the squat rack with the safety bars, I'm gonna clip them on. I'm not a huge proponent of clipping your weights. I try not to whenever possible. I will for deadlifts because it just you set it down, it keeps the weights on. But with especially bench press, I don't understand why people will clip their weights on bench press. If your weights are sliding all over the place, you need to address a balance issue. Because if you get pinned under that weight, you want to be able to tip and dump it to get out safely. It's a lot safer than trying to roll the bar off of yourself if you don't have a spotter. So safety first, man. But since we have our safety bars set up here in our squat rack, I feel safe clipping that weight on. Obviously with squats, if I were to get stuck, I would just dump it. But having that added benefit of making sure they don't slide around when I step into my squat out of the rack is going to be beneficial. All right. They're not going to squat themselves. 5 sets of 2, let's knock them out. You guys are ready, I'm ready. Oh, this is heavy. This is going to be a challenge today. That was not easy. Oh goodness. Shoot. Oh, excuse me. We might have to reassess on this. We'll see how this goes. 1 set at a time, 1 rep at a time. If we need to adjust, we can adjust. I imagine we'll find our groove. First set or two, when you're going heavy like this, the first set or two rarely feel really good. Body's just realizing, oh shit, we're doing something crazy today. So you need that first set or two to kind of get the body ready, used to what it's about to do. We'll see how this goes. Everything felt good. It was just heavy. Now we take our couple of minute rest period here, relax, hang out, let our energy levels come back. How are you guys? How's your week going? This is the part that this is the part I don't like about with the streaming, is just the time in between sets where we just kind of hang out. Like, it's fine, it feels a little bit awkward. You know, if you're gaming and you're streaming, you can just focus on the game. But here with the workout, we just kind of chill. What is up, Bartholomew? If my stomach bulges out farther than my chest, I need to lose tummy fat, right? If your stomach bulges out further than your chest, chances are you do have a higher percentage of body fat in the belly. So if you want to lose weight, so here's a yes. Short answer: if you're looking to lose weight, if you feel like you would like to lose your belly, then yeah, losing fat, losing weight is a good goal. My caution, and then you bring up a good point there, my caution is don't get hung up on specifically losing belly fat, tummy fat. As much as I wish I could tell you that doing an exercise or focusing on an exercise in a particular area is going to lose weight and fat in that area. That's not necessarily how it works. We don't get to decide where we lose our weight from first. And typically what I've seen is it kind of starts from the outside in. So like if you were to put your arms all the way out, it starts kind of, think fingertips all the way in. Belly tends to be more the last place that you see it. That being said, getting on a program where you are focusing on improving your nutrition and being more active and exercising daily, all those types of things, that can lead towards seeing that stomach shrink. But just don't get hung up on the thought of, if I do stomach specific exercise, I'm going to lose my belly. If that makes sense. A lot of people get hung up on that. I want to lose my belly, so I just do crunches. I've been lifting for a while now, and I took mass gainer. I think that's where I went wrong. It might have led to it. There's a lot of different things that can play into it. When people say they want to lose fat in a specific area, my approach with them is that we lose it everywhere. Like you might see it, and that's one of the things I always tell people, to take progress pictures. Progress pictures are one of my favorite methods of tracking our progress, because if you do them week over week or once every 2 weeks, front, side, back, that's where you can see those changes. You're gonna look at yourself in the mirror every day and you're gonna get hung up on, why am I not losing my belly? Why is my belly not going down? Why is that not shrinking? But if you take those pictures, you can do them side by side and you can see those changes happening over the course of time. And that's really the big thing and you see it beyond just the belly. Like I have some clients that for the longest time, they weren't seeing the change in their belly. I could see it because I know what to look for. But I would ask them what they do see, and they're like, oh, I see my chin, or my cheekbones are a little bit more pronounced. I see my shoulders look a little bit nicer. My thighs look a little bit better. I don't necessarily see it in my belly. And I'm like, well, no, we see it in your waist. It is coming down. And so that's if you just lose fat in general, you will eventually lose it in your belly. You just don't have the ability to say, body, I want to lose that. If that makes sense. Okay. Set 1 was rough. Let's make set 2 awesome. Okay. Goodness. It's a big change in my arms, but the chest area is not changing at the same pace. Is that normal? And they're both twice a week. I would say that's relatively normal. Your arms are smaller muscles, and if you're hitting them independently, as well as your chest, your arms are getting worked when you're doing your chest. There's no true chest isolation exercise. In order to engage your chest, you have to push away from yourself, right? In some capacity, you are pushing something away from yourself. Whenever you do that, extending the elbow works your triceps. So anytime, if you're doing just arm specific day twice a week plus chest twice a week, you're really hitting your triceps 3 or 4 times. You might not be specifically directly hitting them on those 2 days you do your chest, but you're still hitting them. So it wouldn't surprise me to see more change in your arms than in your chest. It also helps that there's more, or it also doesn't help that there's more the surface area in your chest to see change, whereas our arms are generally, even if they are big, they are smaller than our chest, so it's easier to see changes. Great questions, by the way. Thank you for swinging by. I hope those make sense and can help. Oh my gosh. Oh, don't lose morale. And it could just be, I was talking with one of the other guys, John, in chat a little bit earlier. There could be any number of things. Obviously, I don't know your exercise history. I don't know your workout program. I don't know your nutrition. I don't know your goals. There's a lot of variables that we don't know about, right? And that's something that, if you wanted to, you and I can get into separately outside of chat. Those would be conversations we have outside of here, where we talk one-on-one, dive deeper into where you've been, what you're currently doing, and where you want to go to create that pathway that kind of breaks you out of that mold, breaks you out of that plateau to get you where you want to go. If you want to have that conversation, we absolutely can. But these are great questions. But there's just a lot of different variables that I don't know to be able to give you a direct answer, if that makes sense. Either way, you're a rock star. Keep it up. You're gonna hit plateaus. You're not always gonna wanna go. You're not always gonna feel motivated to go. It's the times right now when you're losing that morale that you keep showing up, you're gonna get the better results than if you were to just say, fuck it, I'm taking time off, right? I mean, maybe you do dial back the volume a little bit, maybe you adjust your program, maybe you do something a little bit differently, but just, whenever we lose morale, it's very easy to just say, fuck it, and just not go, and then that leads into a worse rut, which we don't want to do. When it really could just be a slight tweak we need to do. Tweak to our nutrition, tweak to our workout plan, tweak to our exercises, any number of things. Get better sleep like I apparently need to do. Actually got pretty good sleep last night. I think it's just we're doing heavy weights, so the body's just tired. It needs a little more recovery. Students, so I can't really afford programs. Take advice from PG and other influencers. That makes sense. Sleep, I lack big time sleep. That could be a big part of it. Sleep plays so much into everything. Your recovery, your cravings, your cognitive abilities, your ability to think creatively, your attention. Sleep is a big, big thing. There was a book I read, Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. If you've heard of it, I highly suggest you check it out. If you haven't heard of it, I highly suggest you check it out. But one of the things he talked about, especially with students, is they did a study where students, they stayed up for 24 hours and crammed, and then they had another set of students that studied for, the 8 or 10 hours during the day, and then got 8 hours of sleep. And they did it over the course of a period of time. It wasn't just a one and done. And they found, I don't remember the numbers, but they found that the students that would study during the day and still get ample night's sleep did better on the exams or did better on the tests. They remembered more information than those that crammed and tried to stay up for 18, 20, 24 hours. So, I mean, that's obviously studying, but the same can be applied. It's just your recovery. It's your body's ability to rest and reset and build back stronger. Because if you're constantly redlining it, go, you're just gonna burn out eventually. That's when you hit plateaus. That's when you see your numbers on your weights go down. That's when you see your cravings increase. That's where you might see the scale start to increase. It's those types of things. Time to sleep matter or just the amount of it? Yes. The time and amount. It's not one of those things that you can sleep 4 hours a night during the week and then sleep for 12 hours during the weekend to make up for it. It's got to be a consistent 7 to 9 hours type of thing is really where they see the benefits come into play. And you'll have people that say like, oh, I thrive off 4 or 5 hours of sleep. And then they find out that really what just happened was they were only getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep so long that that's what they thought was their high performance. And when they were able to switch and start getting, 6 or 7 or 8 hours of sleep, that's 7 to 8 hours, their abilities, their performance, professionally, personally, everything skyrocketed because they realized that their flat, like their peak was really just a valley that they had just been at so long that they thought that was the basis. It is really interesting. If you get time, I know you're in school and you're lifting and studying and all that. If you get time, Why We Sleep was a great book by Dr. Matthew Walker. Walker, W-A-L-K-E-R. It was a great book, really insightful about dreams and about sleeping, sleeping disorders and all sorts of stuff. It was really crazy. I'm gonna eat so much food for lunch today. Real quick before I answer that one, I wanted to address, you mentioned being in school, not being able to pay for programs. That's fine, I'm not trying to sell you on anything. If you ever want to have the conversation, I'm always open to the conversation. Everybody deserves the conversation. I don't sell on it unless it makes sense for both of us. And I don't usually work with students directly for a variety of reasons. Nothing really in particular, but if you ever wanted to just have a conversation to get a better idea of your goals and your game plan and your roadmap, more than happy to set something up with you. So don't let that deter you from learning and getting more information and getting a clearer picture. But anyway, so how long have I been lifting? I've been in the gym for 10 years. It was 10 years in January from the first time I stepped foot in a gym. 2013, I was 24 years old. I was 285 pounds, I'm 6'2", so I held it pretty well, but I didn't feel great. I didn't love the way I looked, didn't love the way my life was going, and I knew something needed to change. And a friend was going into the gym, yeah, for sure. A friend was going to the gym and I said, hey, can you show me what to do? Can I come along? I know I need to do something like this. I've never done it. I don't know what to do. And he let me tag along and I learned a few things and started to see the results and was like, okay, this is something I want to do. And I threw myself into it. I lived by myself. All I did was go to work and I didn't really have any other obligations, so I could go to the gym regularly. I could get into eating the same foods all the time. It didn't bother me to eat the same foods because it was getting me results and it was, delicious enough. And it got me where I wanted to go over the course of time. And then it led me into finding my passion for fitness and wanting to make it full time. In 2019, I decided to go full time into it. And here we are. I train people in person here in this gym, and I train people online around the world for a variety of goals, most specifically with losing weight. Why only 2 reps? That is just what I have planned. So my current program, which is why I stream, is to bring you guys into what I'm doing. Because again, what I'm doing might not be what you're doing or what you want to do, and that's fine. So 2 reps. So we are in week 9. I usually kind of do 12-week blocks of my training. That's usually when I will test, my 1 rep maxes. That'll test to see how my body composition has changed. Whatever goal I'm working on, I try to keep it in 12-month blocks. It keeps me on a program, it keeps me sane, it keeps me moving forward, and it gives me a long enough goal to stay interested and to shoot for, but not so long that I would get to like week 10, 11, or 12 or think, man, I got like 5 more weeks of this shit to do. You know, it gives me a tangible end date. And right now we are in week 9. My goal right now is to build strength, get strong. Ultimately, I want to get new PRs, personal records, in my squats, my bench press, and my deadlift. My goals are 405-pound squat, 315-pound bench press, and 500-pound deadlift. I'm not going to get those this time around, but that's fine. We're working towards them. And so right now, week 9, we are 3 weeks away from our next 1-rep max testing. So coming up here pretty soon. And so each week, kind of like I was talking about, is just building week over week, adding a little bit more weight. And right now we're at 87% of our 1-rep max, which we should only be able to do for about 5 reps anyway. So this is 5 sets, 2 reps. This keeps, you know, heavy weight at a volume of repetitions that doesn't overload the body, doesn't overload the central nervous system, but keeps us moving forward week over week. Also because you're satisfied with your physique? Oh, never satisfied with my physique. No, I am more satisfied than I have been before. My initial goal was to lose the weight. I lost the weight. Obviously, I still got a little bit of tummy fat I always wish to get rid of, but that's, you know, that's more of a mental thing that I'm getting over. You know, my own personal traumas and own personal story and own personal mental hangups with that. But overall, I'm very happy with my physique. You know, it took me a long time to get here. My goal was losing weight, losing fat. I followed a lot of bodybuilding programs. I followed a lot of different programs, kind of pieced it together to find what worked for me. And over the last few years, I'm happy with where I'm at, and now it's a matter of getting strong. Bend the squat bar in the future? No, I don't. These are expensive. We want to keep them for a long time. No, I don't. If I get to those goals, if I get to 315, 405, and 500 on the big 3, I don't need to get stronger than that. I'm not trying to be the world's strongest man. I'm not trying to power lift. I think those will be good numbers for me to feel like, yeah, I fucking did it. I was a strong person. I already am a strong person. I'm happy with where I'm at. But, you know, I know I can do more, and I want to see what I can do. Because why not, right? Yeah, these bars are expensive. We want to keep them as long as we can. We don't want to bend it. I don't need to be one of those guys that's putting 600 pounds on his back. My current 1-rep max is I'm at 275 for my bench press, 350 for my squat, and 415 for my deadlift. And I think that's about where I'll be this time around. But this is the first time that I'm approaching this phase of training, this type of training, with the mindset that as soon as I get done with this 12 weeks, I'm essentially going to restart it to keep progressing, keep building. Usually what I've been done in the past is I've done 12 weeks where I've done strength training, hit a new PR or matched a PR, and then gotten really into endurance running. My wife and I run like half marathons twice a year. So this is the first time I've actually decided I'm going to build block on top of block to see what I can do in a longer time frame than what I've been doing in the past. That being said, we're still running, but I'm putting less focus into the running than I am on my lifting. I hit my running goals, so now it's a matter of maintaining that ability and seeing what we can do under the bar. Also only 2 reps because I don't think I could do a 3rd rep. Woo! I don't think I could do more than 2 reps right now. Oh, gotta go. Nice talking to you as well. Have a good one. Talk to you soon, man. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate the follow, Bartholomew. Oh. Good conversations, good workout. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't ready for these to be done. Still one more round to go though. Oh goodness, what a lovely day. There we go, light hits better that way. Thank you guys for stopping by and hanging out. If this is your first time here, welcome in. If you've been here before, thank you for stopping by again. We are squatting today. We got one more set. We're doing 5 sets of 2. Heavy weights, we got 305 pounds on the bar. Body's tired, but we're getting through it. We can muster through one more set. Then we're gonna get into our accessory work. We've got some Bulgarian split squats, some cable rows, back extensions, some curls. A solid workout plan for the back half here. We're supposed to do deadlifts, but I did them on Monday and my body is very, very tired. So we're gonna listen to the body and we're gonna skip them today. It's okay, we can do that because Monday was our primary day for deadlifting. Today is more of an accessory day, so we're not worried about missing anything on that. And I would rather be able to move. It's all about staying healthy. If you can't stay healthy and recover well, then how are we gonna show up and perform? Oh man, these are taking a lot out of me. I was already tired this morning. It was a very stressful morning getting into work. It was raining, so the dogs didn't want to go outside. I couldn't see anything out of my side mirror. We live in the city, so I park on the street, so I couldn't get out of my parking spot because of traffic, because I couldn't see anything. Got on the highway and there was a traffic jam. Get into the gym and we had a leak, so there was a puddle on the floor. Weights are feeling heavy. Our pets' heads are falling off. They're not. But it's been a morning. But we feel better because we're working out. And we're hanging out with you guys. Right now, I have just decided. I've been streaming for a few months now. This is stream number 43, as it mentions in the title there. I've not really had a direction or an idea of what I want to do with the stream, beyond just be here, show you guys what I'm doing, answer questions, be a resource. I almost feel like I want to be the next Mr. Rogers or Bob Ross, but of fitness, of streaming. Happy little tree trunks. We're gonna build happy little tree trunks. Is that a thing? Is there anybody that's like that yet? Because if not, I want to be that person. I'm gonna take over that mantle. We're gonna showcase the fun, the benefits, the positivity, the love of building a strong, healthy body. Can we do it? We'll find out. Maybe one of these days I'll do a lift in a Bob Ross wig, and we'll build our happy little tree trunks. Or I'll wear a cardigan and be Mr. Rogers. Okay, we need to reset. It didn't feel right on my shoulders, on my back. quick little reset. You want to make sure it feels good. If it doesn't feel good when you go to unrack it, it's going to be a tough lift. Woo! All right, we did it. Oh, finished our squats, finished strong. Now we can move on. Oh. Make sure you're safely unracking and make sure your body's out of the way. Do as I say, not as I do with unracking the weights. Oh, goodness. Sleep pattern is getting on to you. Yeah, man, you need to improve that sleep pattern. Well, I think once you figure that out, a lot of things will fall into place. Right there. Perfect. So, Oreo, for you, directly to you, since we work together, I'm going to update your habit. I don't remember what habit we have you tracking with, but we're gonna do one of the sleep ones. We're gonna work on getting a sleep ritual, something that like helps you wind down and gets you ready to get back into sleep. Because that's one of our big takeaways through our conversations. Then let's work on it, man. So keep an eye on that in the app there. We'll figure it out. And it's crazy once you kind of get your sleep into a good rhythm, how different everything just kind of falls into place in the right way. Oh. All right, we're gonna do some Bulgarian split squats. For those of you who are not familiar, you've probably seen this exercise before. It is essentially a single leg squat It's a lunge variation where our back leg is elevated off of the ground. We set it up onto a bench or a step. We use the bench here. The height can vary. I wouldn't do anything more than like 12 to 15 inches, like a standard classic bench height. It's gonna work on your stability, work on balance, work on endurance in each leg, find imbalances and correct them. It's a great exercise. A lot of people hate it. It's one of my favorite go-tos. Tempo it or we ride it. All right, fine, I'll tempo it. You act like I haven't done this before. I don't prescribe any exercises to my clients that I have never done myself. That's why you'll never see burpees, because I fucking hate burpees. So yeah, you want a tempo, we'll tempo. So one of the cues I recently learned on this that really helps me kind of find my foot placement is you take a seat on the edge of the bench where you're gonna be, put your foot out straight ahead, heel down. That's about the distance that you want your front foot to be. So we step there. We've got our weight in our off hand. This is the hand that's gonna be on the leg that's elevated. What this does is this works on our core, keeps our core nice and straight and stable, and allows us that freedom to hold that weight there without getting in the way of our body as we slowly lower down. Nice little 4 count pause, right back up. 2, 2, 3, 4. Focus should be kept on that front leg. You should feel a good stretch through the back leg. This back leg here, you shouldn't feel any strain. You should feel a good stretch through that quadricep and that hip flexor. Whew. How was that for tempo? Downside is I gotta do the other leg now. I think you're gonna get me challenging me to tempo work. I will say I'm not gonna do that again. Oh no, Twitch is updating. Bye. Those are tough. I think I'm gonna do some research today on Bob Ross and Mr. Rogers and see what are the things that they do. And we're gonna bring them into our stream. That'll be my legacy I leave on the world. The Bob Ross, the Mr. Rogers of fitness. Won't you be my spotter? Won't you be my neighbor? Hope you guys are having a lovely day. All right, the heart rate's brought back down. We're gonna dive into set number 2. I'm not gonna do any more tempo work. We did it for the first set. Usually when I assign tempo work for my clients or even for myself, I only do about 2 or 3 sets total on my accessory work like this, but I'm doing 5, so I've got 4 more. So we're gonna speed it up just a little bit for time's sake, and I've already done tempo work. I don't need to do that today. You come and do 5 sets of 300-pound squats and then do tempo work. Well, you don't have to, but unless you want to. I'm sure for a number of people, that's easy weight. For me, it's very hard. Ugh. Just because we don't go as slow on the tempo as I prescribe for my clients doesn't mean we go as fast as we can. We do keep our control. The idea of tempo work is really to help develop that internal pacing. We don't want to be speeding through everything. We want to take our time, move through with intention, feel the muscles contracting, getting shorter and lengthening on each rep. Slowing it down, especially on single leg and single arm exercises, maintains your stabilization, your stability, your balance, keeps you from falling over as easily. And doing it on exercises like this is going to help for next week when we do our heavy lifts to move quicker. Having good stable foundation here helps move the heavier weights quicker with more balance and more foundational strength. Oh, can't spell legend without leg. That is right. Big bubble butt booty. Amen. Contralateral loading, let's go. Amen. Whew. My clients always ask me, which hand do I hold the weight in? I always tell them, it doesn't really matter. When we're doing single leg stuff like this, for most goals, it doesn't make too much of a difference. For those that aren't familiar with the contralateral loading, it is holding the weight on the opposite side of the side that we are focused on. So holding the weight in the left hand while moving on the right side. Contra, opposite. I really like it for single leg exercises, holding the weight in the left hand to work the right leg and right hand to work the left leg, because it does improve the core stabilization a little bit. You know, if you're holding that weight on the opposite side, you gotta not let that weight pull you down or overcompensate the other way. It really forces you to keep your core a little bit more tight and stable and balanced. If you hold the weight on the side that you're working, so if I'm working on my right leg and I hold the weight on my right side, you still have to keep that core engaged, but it keeps a little bit more focus on the muscles of that leg. So, but for most people, I feel like it's a relatively minuscule difference. But yeah, contralateral loading, always fun time. I don't know what this song is, I don't like it. Logging weight with dumbbells. Do I log total or single weight? So that's a good question. That's a good question I get a lot of times from clients and just from people in general when they're tracking their weights. I leave that choice to you. It's whatever you're gonna remember the most. Personally, myself, if I'm doing a barbell exercise like our squats, I do the total. So I had 305 pounds total, 45-pound bar, plus the weights on both sides, 305 pounds. That's usually how I calculate or how I track barbell weight. For dumbbells, I typically will do the individual weight of the dumbbell. So if I were using 20-pound dumbbells, I would track it as 20 rather than 40. Reason being, for me personally, and you know, this is just years of experience now, this is what I do, but in the beginning it made more sense to me to be like, look at dumbbells and know that it's 2 individual weights to see, like, okay, I did 20 pounds, not to think, oh, I did 10 and 10, because then you grab the 10s and you're like, this seems way too easy. And then as you progress, if you were to see that, like, oh, I did, 60, but you track them together, and then you go to pick the 60-pound dumbbells up, and you get hurt. You realize that, oh no, it was only 30 in each hand. So it's whichever one makes sense to you, whatever you're gonna remember the easiest. For me, with dumbbells, it's individual. Do I log warm-up sets or only working sets? Again, that's personal preference. I write down that I did my warm-up. I don't necessarily track the weights on them, because usually for a warm-up set, like today was a little bit different, my program's a little bit different, but what I used to do is, say again, we were doing squats, and my goal was 5 sets of 2 with 305 pounds. That was my working sets, right? In the past, what I would do is probably do like a set of 135, a set of 225, a set of 255, just doing, whatever the plan was. So if it's sets of 2, I would just do 2 with 135, 2 with 155, building into it. And again, it's the warm-up sets are a little bit moot unless you want to track them for your own benefit to see kind of what you're warming up with. I think the most important thing is the working sets. Like I did a couple of warm-up sets before my main sets today. I didn't track them. I don't need that number. The most important thing is what I did during my working sets. Because some days you'll do more of a longer warm-up, some days you'll do a shorter warm-up, depending on how your body feels. Today I felt really, really tired. My legs are tired. We deadlifted heavy on Monday. I ran yesterday. Body was tired, so I took my time with my warm-up. I did a few extra sets. It doesn't matter in the long run as much as what I did for my working sets, if that makes sense. A long-winded answer to say, whatever you want to do. But the most important thing is if you're tracking your main workouts, your main exercises, so that way, week over week, those are the ones that matter the most to see the progress. It doesn't really matter how you're progressing your warm-ups as much, especially from a tracking standpoint, whether it is in a journal or on your phone or wherever you write it down. Solid questions. Like going back to the how do you do your dumbbells? One of my clients, for the first 2 or 3 weeks, he would, with barbell work, he would track the individual weight on each side. So we were doing deadlifts with, I think, 95 pounds. So he had 25 pounds on each side. So 25 and 25 is 50, plus 45-pound bar is 95 pounds. So he would track to 25. And when he came in the next week, he's like, was that? Well, the bar's 45, so how did I do 25? And then it clicked. And so he's like, no, from now on, we'll just do the whole weight. So, whatever works best for you. And yeah, every fitness-related question eventually comes down to, it depends. It really does. And that's one of the beautiful and frustrating things about it. Because it depends on your situation, it depends on your goals, it depends on your ability, it depends on what you want. That's one of the things I think that is most frustrating for people, but can also be the most freeing to get you into it, into fitness, into exercise, into it, is because we want parameters, we want rules, we want things to be black and white. So we want somebody to say, yes, just do this, 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 and this. But then we get into it and we do that thing that they tell us, you have to do it this way. And maybe it doesn't work, or maybe it's challenging, or we just don't like it, and it's a lot easier to fall off. Whereas if we give you the freedom of saying it depends, like I do it this way because this makes sense to me. Here are a few different ways that make sense to you. Which one makes sense to you? Okay, do that. Because every person is different, and you're a lot more likely to stick with what you know, what you're familiar with, what makes sense to you. Because concepts that make sense to me are not going to make sense to everybody else, and vice versa. So if I can provide, that's why we have those conversations about like, well, what makes sense to you? Then go with that. There's no wrong answer, you know. The only wrong answer is to not improve yourself in some way. And the only wrong way to do an exercise is if it hurts you or is gonna hurt somebody else. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I'm gonna go do some split squats. Be right back. But I can see from your side of the camera how that would be a really frustrating answer to get, because you're asking a question that you think is going to have a black or white, yes or no, this or that answer. And I give you a 5-minute TED Talk about, it doesn't matter. Do whatever you want. And yeah, everybody's built different. What's that? There's like a reel or a TikTok where this like jacked dude puts an egg in his elbow and he crushes it and it splatters everywhere. He's like, built different. And then it stitches this like 115-pound like teenage girl does it, and she squeezes and it breaks because it's just an egg. And she's just like, built different. But seriously, everybody's different. It's one of the beautiful things about this. The way I train and the goals that I'm working towards and the way I track it and the way I program may not be the best for you, but at the end of the day, we're all on this same fitness journey. You know, I equate the gym to you can think of it like a World of Warcraft server. You walk into the gym and you see 100 different people in there. You're all in the same server, but you're all on different quests. You're gonna have the group of guys that are around the squat rack. They are on a raid together. They are raiding the squat rack. They are raiding the leg day. You'll have the people that are on the treadmills. They are just cultivating resources. You know, you can kind of think of it that way. As like, but you're all in the same server, you're all in the same world together, but you all have your own different goals, your own different motivations, your own different ways of approaching it, and no single way is right or wrong. Is using steroids pay to win? Yes. Steroids is pay to win. That's a great way to put it. Steroids is hacking. Steroids is aim assist. Would that be a good way to put it? Oh, I love that. Using steroids is like when people used to be able to buy like top level characters on eBay. skip the process and just buy. Yeah, I love that. I'm gonna use that. Steroids is pay to win. All right, let's get into our next set. We got 2 more sets. We've been doing 5 sets of 8 on our Bulgarian split squats. I don't know about you guys, I'm ready to be done with these, so we're gonna knock out these last 2 pretty quickly. As much as we love them, we're ready for them to get out of here. Oh. Real quick, I just want to say again, thank you guys for stopping by today. I hope you're having a wonderful day, wonderful week, wonderful month, wonderful year, wonderful life. Appreciate you stopping by. If this is your first time here, welcome in. Welcome into the group. If you've been here before, welcome back. Always love having you here. My name is Eric. I am your guide, your Sherpa, if you will, your shaman. That's nothing. We're having a great workout today. We did some heavy squats, doing our split squats. And then what's nice is the back half of the workout here gets into our accessories. We got some cable rows coming up, some back extensions, and some hammer curls. Always gotta work on that gun show. Strong arms, strong grip, helps with all of our lifts. It's a beautiful day to have a beautiful day. Oh. As much as I'm enjoying this lift and this stream, I'm also ready for it to finish up. I am starving. As the name suggests, I am always hungry. Part of that is because food is delicious and I will never not eat. I think we're having probably ground beef and rice and probably peas for lunch today. Keep it simple. Maybe add some black beans, make a little taco bowl. Ooh, a little salsa. That's the play. Keep it simple. You know, I always talk, you know, my online clients, a big portion of them are people that are looking to lose weight, lose fat. And so nutrition is always the biggest headache. Hungry, yes. Nutrition's always the kind of the biggest question mark. And I always tell people, keep it simple. Keep it simple. You don't need these elaborate meals every time you go into the kitchen. You don't need these elaborate plans. It is the biggest headache. And we need to simplify. And once you simplify it, and you know, you and I have talked about this, Ario, directly. For those of you who don't know, Ario is one of my clients. But we've talked about this. You know, it's less about completely changing everything that you do, and it's more about identifying what are the foods that you're currently eating, how much of them are you eating, and then making slight changes, substituting in better options. And those smaller habits, drinking more water, getting better sleep, Ario, which we've been talking about, you know, being more active, which we're already doing. You know, those types of things lead towards better changes than just going on a 30-day cleanse or diet pills or anything. Those quick fixes don't last. It's about finding those small substitutions to what we're currently doing that are going to lead towards the long-term results, and keeping it simple, not overcomplicating it. Find what you like and stick with it. You know, people are always like, oh, I can't eat the same thing every day. If you were to go to McDonald's every day, what are the odds that you're ordering the same 1 or 2 or 3 things every time you go? I order the same thing every time I go to McDonald's, every time I go to Wendy's, every time I go to any restaurant. I order from like the same menu of 4 or 5 things. So why is it so far-fetched to think that I can eat the same 4 or 5 meals every day? It's not. And if you have a problem with that, one of the biggest things one of the easiest fixes you can do to start working on that is how you season and prepare your foods. You know, I could eat chicken, rice, and broccoli every day if I needed to. You know, I'm at a point where I don't need to. But if I wanted to and I needed to, from a cost, from a time standpoint, the easiest way to keep it fresh is how you season it and prepare it. You know, you could do, one day you could do like soy sauce and rice vinegar and make it an Asian theme. One day you could do salsa and make it taco theme. One day you could throw some Italian spices and olive oil on it and you've got an Italian theme. It's the same food, but those spices, those flavor palette and profiles are what are going to give you that kind of variety that you're looking for, while sticking with foods that stay within your diet plan and your nutrition plan that keep you satiated and keep you happy. You know, food is too good, and it isn't too big of portions. Like literally, sorry, I'm still on my pedestal here, almost literally and figuratively. One of the things that my wife and I do, what we did is, so we usually keep a rotation of 3 or 4 proteins. So right now, usually about at least 3 proteins. We have eggs, we'll have a bag of frozen shrimp, and we'll have like chicken or beef that's, you know, been slow cooked. So we've got a big portion of it. And then for our carb source, we usually have pasta or potatoes or rice. Those are our 3 go-tos. So we have a dry erase board on our fridge that has eggs, shrimp, and beef. And we also have pasta, potatoes, and rice. And we will roll a die and decide what we're gonna eat that day. You know, it could be shrimp and rice, it could be beef and pasta. That's what gives us a little bit of that kind of variety, but keeps us within a realm of what we like and what we eat. And then from a veg standpoint, broccoli and peas are our go-to. We don't get sick of them, we can enjoy them all the time, so we've just got frozen bags of them and you just toss them in. It's super easy to prep and cook, and you don't have to worry about fresh foods spoiling, and it makes the life it's so much simpler. You know, instead of having to worry about like, oh, I've got to cut these fresh veggies, I got to make sure that it doesn't go bad, and we've got this and that and the other thing. And you know, we already had that today, so we can't have it again for another week, and you know, all that kind of stuff. Keep it simple. Simplify, simplify, simplify. All right. Nothing like taking 30 minutes to do 3 sets of split squats. Let's go on an adventure. Coming back to our lovely functional cable trainer machine, because we're going to do some cable rows. See if that works. Oh, perfect. You can all hang out together on the ground here. So we have our functional cable trainer here for our, rows and pull downs and all that kind of stuff. But, most of them you'll find at a gym will have a seat. We don't have a seat, so you just sit on the ground. It works just the same. We got a little kick stop at the bottom here so we can put our feet against, gives us nice stability. Cable rows are one of my favorite back accessory exercises. Really works the middle of the back, right between the shoulder blades. Those muscles right around the spine. Nice little solid. We got 4 sets of 20. We'll dive in, nothing too crazy, nice and easy. Keep the chest up, squeezing those elbows on either side of the rib cage. Oh yeah. Good workout. Hard to believe it's already Wednesday here. This week is flying by. This month is flying by. It's hard to believe it's the last full week of the month. I feel like literally yesterday was Christmas and Thanksgiving and New Year. Blinked and January and February are gone. Ario, I'm probably going to take a cue from you this afternoon. I'm going to take a nap. Had a relatively light day today. Had great work yesterday. A great busy day yesterday. So today, got a little bit more free time this afternoon before my evening clients and my coaching call tonight. Ario, make sure you tune in for the replay on that if you're not able to make it. Which I'm guessing you won't because it'll be at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, which will be like 4 a.m. for you. You should be asleep. But I think tonight we're going to be talking about stress eating and ways to combat stress eating. I know it's not something that you've mentioned that you've had trouble with, but I think it's a great conversation. And I'm excited for it. I'm gonna lie down for just a second. I'll be right back. This is one of my favorite things of having my own gym, just being able to lie down. I mean, you could do this at a commercial gym too, but you might get some really weird looks. We're back. Goodness gracious. I can definitely feel the energy levels are starting to dip. Those squats at the beginning took a lot out of me today. That'll happen sometimes. They felt really, really good last week and the week before. Today they hit me a little bit harder. That's okay, we'll be back stronger next week. Not every workout's gonna be your best, but it's always gonna be better than not working out, than skipping your workout. Something is always better than nothing. Last set on our cable rows. Oh. All right, I got time for one more exercise. We're gonna do some back extensions or hammer curls. So we wanna work on our lower back or our gun show. What do you guys think? Oh, goodness. This has been a good workout. I'm gonna sit here for a second. Okay. Screw it, we'll do both. You guys are gonna get to come into the dungeon. We don't ever go back into the back dungeon very much. Come with us into the back room. So this is through that back door you probably see. This is our little, it was a storage area for the place before us, but this is our little back space. What's nice is my business partner, Bobby, has his desk back here, so he works. This is where he'll hang out. This is our bathroom area. And then we also have a leg extension, leg curl, and our back extension, which we're gonna use, as well as our fun belt squat machine. We've used this one a couple of times, usually for seal rows for our back. But today we're gonna do our back extensions back here. Let's see. It's also where our internet hangs out. That's way too high. All right, let's see if that's the right height. Oh, yeah, that'll work perfect for us. We'll grab a weight real quick. This is probably my favorite lower back exercise. It's great for helping strengthen up the lower back, especially if you do things like squats and deadlifts like we do. This is a back extension. It's also known as like a Roman chair, I think. It's just great for the lower back. One of the things to remember on this guy, if you ever use it, a lot of people you'll see will lift their body up well past parallel. They kind of get into this position where they don't allow themselves to go down as far, but then they'll hyperextend on the way up. When really, what you want to do on this, what you want to do is really focus on that stretch down. Let your body hang down as low as it can get, even lower than you think. Because that, when you go down lower, that's letting those lower back muscles stretch. And then when we strengthen them, when we contract them, we bring our body up into a straight line. We don't need to go past that. As soon as you go past that, you start hyperextending the lower back, and that's where a lot of pain can come in. So we want to get that good stretch leaning forward, feel that stretch through the lower back, and then lift up into a nice straight line with our body. I'm going to add a little bit of weight here. I got a 25-pound plate we're going to hold close to our chest for added resistance as we get into this. Oh, nice little we're in a nice little 4 sets of 15. That weight was a little bit heavier than I thought. So we might just do body weight on those. We'll see. Oh. Yeah, it's not really the best place. And I have tried cleaning those sus floor stains, but it just is what it is. So it's one of the reasons why we don't come back here very often. All right. Oh, I am not going to use the weight. The weight felt fine, but it was very, very heavy, and I'm exhausted, so I'm not going to. And I don't have to. So you can't make me. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Our dungeon room, it's not the best room. It is what it is. We'll make it nicer. But we don't hang out back here too much for our stream, for what we need to do, so it hasn't been a top priority. Whew. I'm done with those. I've decided I'm not going to do my last 2 sets on those. I'm tired and I don't want to. My lower back is very tired. And if I were to try to do another set, I would risk hurting my lower back, and I would rather not do that. It's an instance of listening to your body. And making adjustments as you need to. Oh, goodness. But we are going to do our dumbbell curls. Because we got to work the gun show before we leave. Oh, goodness. Woo. Nice little burn in the arms there. Get that pump for the day. The nice thing I like about having my own gym is being able to flex in the mirror. Mirrors are nice and should be used for the sake of watching your form. But it's also kind of fun to flex in them and see how far you've come. Oh. Shoot, I should go donate blood after this. Dang Atlas road map. 2 tickets to Gainesville. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for that. All right, we're gonna do one more round and then finish up for the day. Last set, best set. We had a great workout today. We did our squats, we did our split squats, did some cable rows, hit some back extensions, finished off with some curls. Nothing too crazy. Kind of a shorter workout on the number of exercises that we did, but a nice little 2-hour stream. let's knock out this last set together. And we'll head out, grab some lunch, get some work done. All right. And that is where we will call it. Thank you guys so much for swinging by today. Happy Wednesday. Hope you had a great day. We had an awesome lift. Like I said, we hit our squats, felt great. We did our split squats, which felt awesome. We did our cable rows, back extensions, finished off with some curls. We had a great workout today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. So again, if this is your first time here, welcome in. If you're coming back, thank you for coming back. Hit that like, that follow, that subscribe. You can find me over on Twitter and Instagram, where I announce that I usually go live, or over on the Discord. Join the Discord, I announce on there. Swing by next time. We'll probably be back, I believe, next Wednesday, I think is the next planned stream. And we'll hit probably a similar workout today. We'll have a good time. Again, like, follow, subscribe, whatever you want to do. We'll catch you later. Thank you guys for swinging by. Have a great day. Bye.